Ibn Qayyim, he says, فَيُرِيكَ عِزَّتُهُ وَيُبْدِي لُطْفَهُ وَالْعَبْدُ فِي الْغَفَلَاتِ عَنْ ذَا شَأْنِ وَالْعَبْدُ فِي الْغَفَلَاتِ عَنْ ذَا شَأْنِ. He says, so Allah shows you His izzah, He shows you His might, by way of showing you mercy in ways that you don't even realize are a mercy. You may be going through a difficulty and a hardship, and how often is a person being tried with all sorts of things that they don't realize until afterwards that they are a tremendous mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may have mercy upon a person by testing them with a fatal sickness, with cancer or something of the sort. We ask Allah for al-afiyah. We ask Allah for pardon and well-being and safety. But it should be a tremendous mercy from Allah. A person is tested with a sickness that leads them to their death after some months or after a year or two of battling with an illness and struggling with an illness. And they take that entire time, and we've seen many of our brothers, may Allah have mercy upon our beloved brothers that we watch pass from cancer and these sorts of diseases. They spend that time in the masjid. They spend that time while they have the strength sitting in every class that they can. They spend that time attending every salat that they can. They spend that time reading the Quran. They spend that time going through a bucket list. I can think of at least 5 people off the top of my head from the Salafi communities over the last 15 years that I watched die of cancer and that died in a beautiful condition. One of whom praised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He cried on the phone talking to me right before he passed, the day or two before he passed, saying that it was the greatest mercy of Allah to test him with cancer. He said this was the greatest blessing of Allah, that Allah tested me with cancer. May Allah have mercy on him. And you will see the brother at every seminar, whether it was here or DC or Philly or Jersey or New York. You see him in the front row, had a little chair. He was an old man, and he battled with cancer for 10 years. It kept coming back until he finally died from it. And these are asbab la yash'uru biha al-abd. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may test the person with all sorts of tests and calamities that may be a mercy for him that he doesn't even realize. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is latifun bi'abdihi wa li'abdihi fayurika izzatahu. Ibn Qayyim says, Allah shows you His might and His power. His might and His power by showing you that you're not in control. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ أَيَحْسَبُ أَنْ لَنْ يَقْدِرَ عَلَيْهِ أَحَدٍ. Indeed, we created mankind in a state of kabad, of difficulty and hardship. So does he think that no one has power over him? Al-Qurtubi in his tafsir, he brings a lengthy passage. There's a long paragraph about all the trials of life from the time a person comes from the womb of their mother to the time that they die, up until the time that they are questioned to the angels, so they enter the paradise or the hellfire. And he says, this verse, it means that a person, if they were to have control over their situation, they would never have chose to go through any of that difficulty, any of those hardships in life, from the time that they were an infant, to the time that they died, to the time that they were questioned in their graves, to the time they entered the paradise of the fire. They wouldn't choose to go through any difficulty. لو كنت أعلم الغيب, the Prophet ﷺ, he was told by Allah to say, if I knew the unseen, لَاسْتَكْثَرْتُ مِنَ الْخَيْرِ وَمَا مَسَّنِيَ السُّوءُ, then I would have increased in as much good as I could. I would have got as much good as I could for myself, and no harm would have ever touched me if I knew the unseen. That's a natural condition of the human being. No person would choose hardship for themselves. But from the subtle mercy of Allah, Tabarak wa ta'ala, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَيُرِيكَ عِزَّتَهُ وَيُبْدِي لُطْفَهُ. Ibn Qayyim says, He shows you His might and His power, that He's in control. And He displays His lutf, His subtle kindness. وَالْعَبْدُ فِي الْغَفَلَاتِ, and the abd is in every sort of imaginable ghafalat, he says, and multiple compounded layers of heedlessness and unawareness as relates to that sha'ani, what is actually happening in his life. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what's really happening.